Dear Arcturians, do you have a message for me today? I do know that there is always a message, but I just need to ask. Therefore, I am asking now.
Dear Suzelle, yes, you are correct in that we do always have a message for anyone who wishes to communicate with us. Thus, we wish to remind anyone who may be reading this communication that we, the Arcturians, as well as all your galactic family, are always ready to communicate with you. We are always ready to communicate with you because we are not limited or bound to your illusion of time. You know that time is an illusion because it appears to be quite different under different circumstances. For example, when you are doing something you love to do, time flies. On the other hand, when you are doing something that you do not want to do, time seems to crawl along at a snail's pace. Also, time is very dependent on your state of consciousness. In your third-dimensional consciousness, time is something that seems to be regulated by a clock that is outside of you. However, this outer clock interacts with your emotional state in that time flies when you are having fun, and each minute feels like an hour when you are doing something that you dislike. From our perspective in the fifth dimension and beyond, the illusion of third-dimensional time is replaced by the fifth-dimensional, and beyond, now. Within the now of the higher dimensions, there is no time to slow down your perceptual field to what you have unconsciously chosen to focus on. Also, your choice of focus will dictate the reality in which you live. If you choose to focus on the bills you must pay, and the work you must do, with the accent on must, meaning that personal choice is not available within that now, time is your enemy. Therefore, each minute seems like an hour. However, when you meditate, or are involved in a creative act, you activate your fourth and fifth dimensional consciousness in which time is a product of your state of consciousness. For example, when you are engaged in a creative act that you enjoy, time seems to fly. The reason why we are speaking about time is because time is a wonderful feedback system as to how you are choosing to create your life. If your time drags along, or you don't have time to do what you really want to do, then time has given you a message about the reality you have created for yourself. It is very important in your now that you realize that you are the creator of your reality. Soon, and this soon is dependent on each person's choice to expand, but not expand your consciousness enough to expand your perceptual field. Your perceptual field is determined by your choice of the myriad different persons, places, situations, and things that you choose to perceive, or not perceive. Your physical feelings have a direct effect on your perceptions, and your perceptions have a direct effect on your feelings. Hence, you can create a feedback loop where you may choose to send out fear, and fear constantly returns to you. On the other hand, you could put out a feedback loop in which you focus on sending out love, and then love returns to you. Also, fear limits your perceptual field to the third and lower fourth dimensional realities. On the other hand, love, especially unconditional love, expands your perceptual field. We are now speaking, not of your physical perceptual field, which is also greatly affected by your state of consciousness. Instead, we wish to talk about your inner and upper perceptual field. By your inner perceptual field, we mean your inner reality that is constantly created and recreated by your thoughts and emotions. When your inner perceptual field is guided by peace and calm, your emotional body remains a clear window through which you can perceive your outer reality. On the other hand, when your inner perceptual field is guided by confusion and anxiety, your emotional body creates a blurry, and often self-focused, perceptual field that often creates a sensation of being a victim. You will have this feeling of being a victim, because you do not feel as though you are the one who is creating your reality. In this case, there are many frightening possibilities on which you could focus your awareness to create more and more anxiety and fear in your world. We are here within your now to remind you that the frequency rate of planet Earth is progressively speeding up. This process needs to be very slow because Gaia has many life forms that are filled with fear and or anxiety. This collective fear and anxiety is much like having the anchor down when you are trying to drive your boat. The boat may be able to slowly move along, but eventually the anchor will collect so much trash and rubble from the water that the boat will no longer be able to move forward. What form of anchor are you allowing to slow your forward process? Please remember that your life is your boat, and this anchor is down because you have not remembered to pull the anchor up. Of course, it is quite easy to forget your own inner anchor because it is invisible to your third-dimensional perceptions. However, your third-dimensional body will likely feel very fatigued, because life is feeling like you are taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. To pull up your anchor, you must first realize that this is your anchor and no one else has created this anchor, or lowered it into the deep waters to hold you back. Yes, it may appear that a boss, a parent, or even a friend has held you back. However, they all have their own boat and their own anchor that they are dealing with. If they are dealing with their own anchor successfully, meaning that they do not let it hold them back from their own inner guidance, then they are able to assist others. On the other hand, if one has not dealt with their own dirty anchors, they will be so absorbed with their own problems that they cannot assist others with. Please remember that the core of ascension is service to others. Hence, when one's anchor needs to be cleared and pulled back into the ships so it does not create a drag on their forward motion, they are often too absorbed with their own problems to remember their true multidimensional nature. Hence, rather than sending in a quick call to your higher self such as, "Please assist me to move more swiftly along my path," they are spending their 3D time on the problem, rather than on calling on their own higher self for the solution. When one spends their time focusing on the problem, they will feel more and more victimized by life. Then, they forget that this is their boat and their anchor. They also forget that all they need do is pull up the anchor into their mind so that they can blaze it with the violet fire to transmute it into an anchor of light. The conscious owning of this anchor as a component of wearing a physical body, as well as taking the responsibility to keep your anchor clean and fully functional, gives one the security that they can stop when they need to rest, without aborting the entire journey. We, your galactic family, realize that our grounded ones are becoming impatient for our arrival. However, look around your world. What do you think that most people would do if we suddenly landed one of our small scout ships, or filled the sky with one of our huge starships? However, we are very pleased to see that more and more humans are holding less and less fear about off-world or galactic realities. In the 1950s, which were one of the times in which we were ready to land, the Illuminati started a huge fear campaign of horror movies of terrifying ETs coming to take over Earth or abduct humans. It is true that the Zetas did abduct humans, as stated in the X-Files shows, but that activity stopped long ago. Also, they had no desire at all to harm humanity. In fact, they greatly educated those that were aboard their ship to share their DNA with the Zetas who were in dire need of fresh DNA. The Zetas were no longer able to replicate themselves via procreation, and needed to create new forms from the DNA they gathered from the humans. This gathering of DNA was done with full permission of the governments who received higher technology in exchange. Did these governments share this technology with their people? No. They kept the technology for themselves so that they could make money. What those trapped in the third and lower fourth-dimensional consciousness do not realize is that there is no need for any form of money or bartering in the fourth and fifth dimensions of reality. In the fourth dimension, and even more so in the fifth dimension, humans are able to create anything they need with their own thoughts and emotions. You do notice that the above information is not visible in your newspapers or easily found on the internet. The reason for this is that the power over others groups are very frightened that their reign of power over is coming to a conclusion. They are seeing that more and more of humanity is raising their consciousness into the higher fourth and fifth dimensional frequencies of reality. Then, even though humans may still be wearing an earth vessel, they do not allow that fact to limit them any more than wearing a sweater would limit them. Of course, you can easily take off a sweater, whereas you cannot yet easily take off and put back on your earth vessel, yet. Of course, you may leave your earth vessel safely stored on Earth when you visit the fourth dimension during sleep, dreams, deeply meditate, are under anesthetic, or engaged in deep creativity. In fact, many of you have remembered how to keep enough of your essence within your physical earth vessel, just as you may keep someone on your boat while you go on shore. In fact, more and more of you have remembered how to use your ship-to-shore communicator so that you can communicate with your higher self as easily as you would call a friend on your cell phone. It is for the above reason that we are sending our interdimensional message through many of our grounded, but fully awakened, expression of self. In fact, more and more members of our galactic family have sent a representative of our fifth dimensional and beyond self down to Gaia to wear a third dimensional Earth vessel, to create a relay system so that humanity's fifth dimensional and beyond family could speak with you, our brave away team to Earth. We are here today to thank all of you who have remembered to connect your interdimensional communication systems with your third and fourth dimensional brain, high heart, and third eye. We suggest that you first connect your high heart, for within your high heart is your threefold flame of divine wisdom, multidimensional power, and unconditional love. Also, within the Atma of your high heart is your multidimensional circuitry, which runs infinitely via the power of your galactic wisdom, multidimensional power, and unconditional love. Also, within the Atma of your high heart are the first 8 cells of your physical form. These first 8 cells go from incarnation to connect you to your true, multidimensional self who lives happily on our starships. We, your galactic family, want to remind you that you are never alone, and that you are always supported by us. We also wish to remind you that our galactic family includes your own higher dimensional expression of self. Blessings to you all. We greatly enjoy touching in with our brave volunteers who took an Earth vessel to assist Gaia with her planetary ascension. The Arcturians and your galactic family.